What if I told you that the sadness you feel, the anxiety that grips you, or the joy that lights you up may not just come from your thoughts, but from what's on your plate? Science now proves that food doesn't just feed the body, it feeds the brain. The nutrients you eat today can decide whether you wake up energized and happy or drained and depressed. Imagine your mood, your focus, even your peace of mind, all being shaped by what you eat at breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This is not fantasy. This is biology. What we put in our mouth travels through the bloodstream, interacts with trillions of microbes, shapes our hormones, and rewires the very chemistry of the brain. Think about it. One meal can either spark happiness or fuel despair. A plate of junk food may not only add pounds to your waistline, it may add weight to your emotions. A bowl of leafy greens and salmon, on the other hand, can act like medicine, calming the nervous system, lifting anxiety, and brightening your outlook. For too long, we've separated food from feelings, but the truth is undeniable. Food and mood are inseparable. And once you understand this connection, you'll never look at your plate the same way again. The human gut is far more than a digestive tube. It is an intelligent ecosystem, often called the second brain. Inside your intestines live trillions of microbes, bacteria, fungi, and even viruses that together weigh nearly as much as your brain itself. This community is called the gut microbiome, and it does something extraordinary. It talks to your brain every single moment of the day. The gut and brain are linked by a two-way highway known as the vagus nerve, and through this superhighway, signals constantly travel back and forth. This means your gut has a say in how you feel, how you think, and even how you respond to stress. Yeah, here's the shocking part. About 90% of serotonin, your body's main feel-good hormone, is not made in your brain, but in your gut. That means the food you eat, which either nourishes or damages your microbiome, can directly decide how much serotonin your body produces. A gut that thrives on fiber-rich vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains creates the perfect environment for good bacteria to flourish. These bacteria ferment fiber into powerful compounds called short-chain fatty acids, which not only lower inflammation throughout the body, but also travel to the brain to calm mood and stabilize emotions. But the opposite is also true. A gut fed with processed foods, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats becomes a breeding ground for bad bacteria. These harmful microbes trigger inflammation, leak toxic byproducts into the bloodstream, and disrupt the delicate serotonin and dopamine balance. The result? Anxiety, depression, brain fog, and unstable moods. It is no coincidence that people with diets high in junk food often describe feeling irritable, restless, or down without understanding why. Their brain chemistry is being hijacked by their gut. Modern science is uncovering that depression may not only be a chemical imbalance in the brain, but also an inflammatory condition linked directly to the gut. Studies show that patients who shift to a high fiber, plant rich diet experience measurable improvements in mood and resilience. Why? Because they are feeding their microbiome the right fuel. Each forkful of leafy greens, beans, or berries acts like a message of healing sent from the gut to the brain. Think of it this way. Your gut is like a bustling city, and the foods you eat are the laws that govern how that city runs. Feed it well and harmony prevails. Energy is high, moods are stable, and thoughts are clear. Feed it poorly and chaos erupts. Stress rises, sleep suffers, and despair takes root. The choice is yours, and it is made not once in a lifetime, but every single day, every single meal. The gut-brain connection is one of the most hopeful discoveries of modern medicine because it shows us that mental well-being is not only in the mind. It's in the food we choose, the fiber we eat, the care we give to our invisible community of microbes. By respecting the gut, we empower the brain. By healing the gut, we heal the mind. When it comes to emotional stability and brain health, omega-3 fatty acids are the unsung heroes. Think of them as the oil that keeps the gears of your brain turning smoothly. Without them, the machinery grinds, sparks fly, and mental health begins to break down. With them, the brain runs like a finely tuned engine, clear, calm, and resilient. Your brain is nearly 60% fat by weight, and a large portion of that is made of omega 3s. These essential fats build the very walls of brain cells, called membranes, allowing neurons to communicate with each other at lightning speed. Imagine your brain cells as millions of tiny radio towers trying to send signals. Without enough omega 3s, the static builds, signals become fuzzy, and mood swings, anxiety, and depression creep in. But when omega 3 levels are high, those signals become crisp and clear, and the brain hums with emotional balance. Scientific research has shown a direct link between omega 3 intake and mood disorders. Populations that eat a diet rich in fatty fish, like the Mediterranean and Japanese diets, consistently show lower rates of depression and anxiety compared to Western populations that rely heavily on processed foods. Clinical trials have revealed that omega 3 supplementation, especially the DHA and EPA forms found in fish, can significantly reduce symptoms of depression, sometimes rivaling prescription medications in effectiveness for mild to moderate cases. That's the power of nature at work. But omega 3s don't just protect against sadness, they actively promote joy and calm. They regulate neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the brain's feel good messengers. They also lower brain inflammation, which has been tied to depression and anxiety. In fact, brain inflammation is now recognized as one of the hidden drivers of mood disorders, and omega 3s are among the most potent natural anti inflammatories we know. The sources are simple and accessible. 2 servings of fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or trout per week provide a rich supply. For those who don't eat fish, chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, and hemp seeds are excellent plant-based sources. Even a spoonful of flax oil in a smoothie can be a game changer. Seniors especially benefit as omega 3s not only stabilize emotions, but also protect memory, reduce cognitive decline, and lower the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Picture this: a breakfast of oatmeal topped with walnuts and chia seeds, lunch with a salad drizzled with olive oil and sprinkled with flax, dinner with grilled salmon and steamed vegetables. This is not just a menu for physical health, it is a prescription for emotional resilience, focus, and happiness. The most inspiring truth is this: emotional balance is not locked away in a pill bottle. It is in your kitchen, waiting in simple foods that have nourished humans for centuries. Omega 3s are not a quick fix, they are a lifelong ally, shaping the chemistry of your brain meal after meal. By choosing them, you choose clarity over confusion, peace over anxiety, and hope over despair. If omega 3s are the oil that keeps your brain running, magnesium is the gentle hand that tells your nervous system, it's okay, you can relax now. This mineral is often called nature's tranquilizer because of its remarkable ability to calm the mind, ease the body, and restore balance. Yet, despite its importance, most people, especially seniors, don't get nearly enough. And the result is written all over our modern lives: rising anxiety, restless nights, tense muscles, and racing thoughts that never seem to quiet down. Magnesium works at the very core of how your brain and body handle stress. It regulates the release of cortisol, the hormone that spikes when you feel threatened or overwhelmed. In small doses, cortisol helps you survive. But when it stays elevated because of poor diet, stress, or lack of sleep, it fuels anxiety, drains energy, and disrupts mood. Magnesium steps in as a natural brake, lowering cortisol, calming the stress response, and protecting the brain from being stuck in fight or flight mode. It also helps regulate GABA, a neurotransmitter often described as the brain's off switch. GABA slows down overactive thoughts, promotes relaxation, and allows the body to rest. Without enough magnesium, GABA function suffers, leaving the mind restless and prone to worry. This is why magnesium deficiency has been directly linked to higher rates of anxiety, depression, and insomnia. When you can't fall asleep at night, when your shoulders feel tight with tension, when your heart races without reason, magnesium may be the missing piece. The good news is that magnesium is abundant in foods nature designed for us: leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard, nuts like almonds and cashews, seeds such as pumpkin and sunflower, and even beans and lentils. Whole grains also contain it, and yes, even a small square of dark chocolate is a surprising source of magnesium that also delivers mood boosting polyphenols. Imagine a daily routine where magnesium rich foods become your allies. Breakfast might include oatmeal sprinkled with pumpkin seeds. Lunch could be a hearty spinach salad with beans and nuts. Dinner could feature steamed greens alongside lean protein, and maybe a small piece of dark chocolate after dinner, not as a guilty pleasure, but as a deliberate choice to calm your nervous system. Each meal then becomes not just nourishment, but therapy for your brain. What makes magnesium especially powerful for seniors is its role in sleep. Poor sleep is one of the biggest contributors to low mood and irritability, and magnesium has been shown to improve both the quality and length of deep restorative sleep. By relaxing muscles, calming nerves, and balancing hormones, it prepares the body for the healing work that happens during the night. With consistent intake, you don't just fall asleep faster, you wake up more refreshed, with sharper focus and lighter mood. The message is simple yet profound. Anxiety and restlessness are not always signs of weakness or lack of willpower. Sometimes they are signals of deficiency. By replenishing the body with magnesium, you send a message of safety and calm to your nervous system. It tells your brain, you are supported, you are safe, you can let go. And when your brain receives that message, peace follows. Energy is the fuel of life, and without it, every task feels heavier, every thought slower, every emotion dimmer. One of the most overlooked keys to this energy and to stable mood are the B vitamins. These nutrients are not optional extras, they are the very spark plugs of your body and brain. Without them, the engine stalls. With them, the engine roars to life, steady, strong, and focused. B vitamins, especially B6, B9, folate, and B12, play an essential role in the creation of neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. These are the very chemicals that decide whether you feel motivated or fatigued, joyful or depressed, calm or anxious. Without B vitamins, your brain cannot manufacture these mood messengers effectively. The result? Irritability, brain fog, exhaustion, and emotional instability. But their power goes even deeper. B vitamins are central to how your cells convert food into usable energy. Every piece of bread, every bean, every egg you eat is broken down into molecules of fuel. But without the presence of B vitamins, that fuel cannot be unlocked. It's like having a car full of gas, but no key to start the ignition. The body starves, not because food is missing, but because the spark to turn calories into energy is absent. That is why deficiency often looks like chronic fatigue, weakness, and low mood. This problem is especially pronounced in seniors. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid, and this makes it harder to absorb vitamin B12 from food. The deficiency creeps in slowly, often unnoticed, until it begins to show up as fatigue, numbness in the hands and feet, memory problems, confusion, or even symptoms that mimic depression or dementia. Many seniors go years without realizing their low mood is not only psychological but nutritional. The solution is simple but powerful. Restore B vitamins, and energy and clarity often return. The best sources of B vitamins are found in nature's simple whole foods. Eggs, fish, poultry, and lean meats provide B12 and B6. Leafy greens, beans, and lentils are rich in folate. Whole grains like oats, barley, and brown rice provide a wide spectrum of B vitamins. Even a bowl of fortified cereal or a slice of whole grain bread can make a difference. For those who follow plant-based diets, supplementation or fortified foods may be necessary, especially for B12. Picture this: a breakfast of scrambled eggs with spinach, a lunch of lentil soup with whole grain bread, and a dinner of grilled salmon with quinoa. This is not just food. It is a prescription for vitality, a recipe for a brighter mood and sharper focus. Each bite provides the vitamins that allow your brain to light up with energy and emotional balance. The beauty of B vitamins is that they remind us of a simple truth. fatigue and depression are not always a mystery. Sometimes they are a deficiency. By fueling the body with these essential nutrients, you restore the natural rhythm of energy that keeps the mind sharp and the heart light. In this way, food becomes both the fuel for your day and the medicine for your mind. Happiness has many roots, but one of the most fascinating discoveries of modern science is that it can be cultivated at the table. Among the most powerful nutrients for joy are polyphenols, natural compounds found in plants that act like microscopic bodyguards, protecting your brain from stress, inflammation, and aging. They are the vibrant pigments that give berries their deep color, the antioxidants in green tea, the richness in cocoa, and the vibrancy of colorful vegetables. They are quite literally nature's recipe for a happier, healthier brain. Polyphenols work their magic in multiple ways. First, they combat oxidative stress, the damage caused by unstable molecules called free radicals. Oxidative stress doesn't just age your skin, it ages your brain, dulls your memory, and fuels depression. By neutralizing these harmful molecules, polyphenols preserve the integrity of brain cells, allowing them to function at their best. Think of them as a shield guarding the delicate machinery of your mind against daily wear and tear. Second, polyphenols improve blood flow to the brain. When you eat foods like blueberries or sip green tea, compounds inside them stimulate the release of nitric oxide, which widens blood vessels and enhances circulation. This rush of oxygen and nutrients sharpens memory, lifts alertness, and brightens mood. Imagine your brain lighting up like a city skyline at night, every neuron illuminated, every pathway firing. That's what polyphenols help create. Third, they influence the very neurotransmitters that govern happiness. Cocoa, for example, stimulates the release of serotonin and endorphins, the very chemicals that create feelings of pleasure and relaxation. Green tea contains L-theanine, an amino acid that crosses the blood-brain barrier, promoting calm focus without sedation. Berries contain anthocyanins, which reduce inflammation and mood-regulating centers of the brain. These aren't just side benefits, they are direct pathways to joy and emotional balance. What's remarkable is how simple it is to access these benefits. A handful of blueberries in the morning, a cup of green tea in the afternoon, a small square of dark chocolate after dinner. These are not luxuries, but everyday tools for brain health. By sprinkling polyphenol rich foods into your diet, you're not just treating your taste buds, you're nourishing your emotional resilience. For seniors, polyphenols carry another layer of hope. They protect against cognitive decline. Studies show that people who eat diets high in berries, tea, and colorful vegetables maintain sharper memory and a lower risk of dementia. In other words, these compounds don't just help you feel happier today, they help you stay mentally vibrant for years to come. So picture this, a bright plate filled with colors, deep purple grapes, red strawberries, green spinach, golden turmeric, dark chocolate, and emerald green tea. That rainbow is not just beautiful to the eye, it is medicine to the brain. It whispers to your cells, stay strong, stay young, stay joyful. The lesson here is profound yet simple. Happiness is not only shaped by circumstance or thought, but also by chemistry. And chemistry can be shaped by choice. By choosing polyphenol-rich foods, you are choosing to feed your joy, strengthen your memory, and create resilience in the face of stress. Food becomes not just nourishment, it becomes happiness on a plate. If healthy foods are the builders of joy, then sugar and processed foods are the silent destroyers. They sneak into your life disguised as comfort, but what they really deliver is chaos, not just to your waistline, but to your brain, your emotions, and your peace of mind. They are the wolves dressed as sheep, promising a moment of sweetness, but leaving behind storms of mood swings, fatigue, and even depression. Let's start with sugar. When you eat refined sugar found in sodas, pastries, candies, and countless processed snacks, your blood glucose spikes like a rocket. For a short moment, you feel energized, even euphoric, but soon after, the glucose crashes, and with it, your energy plummets. your focus blurs, and your mood collapses. That roller coaster ride of highs and lows is more than inconvenient, it's damaging to the brain. Repeated glucose spikes create inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which impair the delicate networks that regulate mood. Over time, this contributes to anxiety, irritability, and even clinical depression. Processed foods add another layer of destruction, laden with trans fats, artificial additives, and excessive salt. They alter brain chemistry in dangerous ways. Trans fats, for example, are known to harden arteries, but they also inflame the brain, cutting off healthy blood flow and impairing communication between neurons. Artificial sweeteners, often marketed as healthier alternatives, can disrupt gut bacteria and interfere with serotonin production, stealing away the very neurotransmitters that make you feel calm and happy. And let's not forget the gut brain connection. Processed foods feed the bad bacteria in your gut, tipping the balance of your microbiome toward chaos. When harmful bacteria dominate, they release toxins that travel through your bloodstream and create systemic inflammation, including in the brain. Scientists now recognize that this inflammation is a key driver of mood disorders. That means the burger, fries, and soda may not just weigh on your stomach, they can literally weigh on your emotions. For seniors, the impact is even more severe. The body's resilience naturally declines with age, making it harder to handle glucose spikes, chemical additives, and inflammatory fats. That's why diets heavy in processed foods are strongly associated with cognitive decline, memory loss, and depression in older adults. In many cases, what looks like aging is actually the slow damage of years of dietary assault. But here is the hope. The damage is not irreversible. Studies show that reducing sugar and processed foods while increasing whole nutrient rich foods can improve mood in as little as 2 weeks. Imagine that in just 14 days, your brain can begin to rewire itself for clarity, steadiness, and joy. The cravings will fight you at first because sugar is addictive, but once you break free, the freedom is unmistakable. So the truth is clear. Junk food is not a treat, it is emotional sabotage. It robs you of stable energy, steals your peace of mind, and undermines your resilience. Every pastry, every soda, every fast food meal whispers a lie that it will comfort you, but the comfort is fleeting and the cost is high. Real comfort, lasting calm, and true joy are found not in the factory, but in nature's foods that nourish, heal, and sustain. If food truly shapes mood, then the most important question we can ask is, what should my plate look like every day to feel calm, energized, and joyful? Science gives us a clear answer. The daily mood plate is not a rigid diet or a fad. It is a simple, sustainable way of eating that feeds your gut, nourishes your brain, and stabilizes your emotions. Every bite becomes a choice between chaos and clarity, despair and joy. Picture this, a plate filled with vibrant colors, salmon rich in omega-3, glistening with lemon, a generous serving of leafy greens loaded with magnesium and folate, a scoop of quinoa or brown rice delivering B vitamins and steady energy, a handful of berries sprinkled on top, bursting with polyphenols that protect your brain and spark happiness, a drizzle of olive oil adding healthy fats that fight inflammation. This is not just food, this is medicine, therapy, and energy all in one. Breakfast can set the tone for your entire day. Imagine starting with a bowl of oatmeal topped with walnuts, chia seeds, and blueberries. This combination provides fiber for your gut bacteria, omega-3s for your neurons, and antioxidants for your brain. Compare that to a sugary pastry and coffee. One will stabilize your emotions for hours. The other will drag you through spikes and crashes that leave you irritable and tired. A choice is powerful, and it happens before 9 a.m. Lunch offers another opportunity. A chickpea and spinach salad with olive oil dressing sprinkled with pumpkin seeds provides plant-based protein, magnesium, and polyphenols. This kind of meal doesn't just fill your stomach, it speaks directly to your nervous system, telling it to calm down, focus, and recharge. On the other hand, a fast food burger and fries may leave you bloated, sluggish, and mentally foggy within an hour. Once again, your plate determines your state. Dinner can be the anchor that brings balance back after a long day. A serving of grilled trout or sardines with steamed broccoli, roasted sweet potatoes, and a side of lentils creates a powerhouse of omega-3s, fiber, B vitamins, and antioxidants. Finish with a small piece of dark chocolate and a cup of green tea, and you've given your brain everything it needs to restore peace, energy, and clarity before sleep. The magic of the daily mood plate lies in balance and consistency. It doesn't demand perfection, it asks for intention. If most of your meals are built around whole, nutrient rich foods, your mood will rise. If most of your meals are filled with processed, sugary, or fried foods, your mood will fall. The science is as simple as the choice. One nourishes, the other destroys. The message here is hopeful. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a complicated plan. You don't need to count calories or measure every bite. All you need is to fill your plate with foods that nature designed: colorful plants, healthy fats, whole grains, and clean proteins. The daily mood plate is not just about preventing depression or anxiety, it's about unlocking joy, clarity, and energy every single day. It transforms food from something you consume into something you choose, a daily act of self care that builds resilience in both body and mind. Food is not just fuel, it is information. Every bite you take sends a signal to your brain and your body. That signal can whisper peace, energy, and joy, or it can scream chaos, fatigue, and despair. For too long, we've been taught to see food only as calories, only as numbers to count or pounds to gain or lose. But the truth revealed by science is far greater. Food is chemistry. Food is communication. Food is power. Think about it. The salad with leafy greens and nuts is not just a side dish, it is a natural tranquilizer, calming your nervous system and protecting your brain from anxiety. The salmon on your plate is not just dinner, it is fuel for your neurons, reducing depression, balancing emotions, and giving your mind clarity. A handful of blueberries is not just dessert, it is a direct infusion of polyphenols that improve memory, brighten mood, and protect your brain from aging. Even the simple act of drinking a cup of green tea is not just refreshment, it is therapy for your brain cells, sharpening focus while soothing stress. And the reverse is true. The soda you drink, the donut you grab, the processed fast food you rely on when you're tired, these are not harmless indulgences. They are emotional sabotage. They destabilize blood sugar, inflame the brain, and throw your mood into turmoil. They may comfort you for 5 minutes, but they steal hours of peace, days of clarity, even years of health. That is not a treat, that is a trap. The most beautiful discovery in this science is that the choice is yours. You don't need to wait for a prescription. You don't need to wait for a miracle pill. You don't need to surrender to sadness or anxiety as though they were destiny. You hold the power every single day, every single meal. With your fork, you write the script of your mood. With your plate, you shape the course of your life. Imagine this. Tomorrow morning you wake up and instead of reaching for processed bread and sugary spreads, you choose oatmeal, topped with berries and walnuts. You've just given your gut bacteria the fuel to make serotonin, your brain the fats to stay calm, and your body the vitamins to spark energy. At lunch, instead of greasy fast food, you choose a spinach and chickpea salad with olive oil and seeds. You've just lowered inflammation, balanced your blood sugar, and calmed your nervous system. At dinner, instead of fried processed meats, you choose grilled trout with sweet potatoes and steamed broccoli. You've just delivered omega-3s, magnesium, and antioxidants, nutrients that heal, protect, and uplift. This isn't just eating, this is choosing joy. And here's the hope. Your brain begins to respond quickly. Within days of changing your diet, mood begins to lift, energy becomes steadier, sleep improves. Within weeks, inflammation decreases, focus sharpens, and resilience grows. Within months, you don't just feel better, you feel transformed. And the most powerful part, you did it yourself. Not with pills, not with empty promises, but with food that has been available all along. Food is your most consistent medicine. 3 times a day, it knocks on your door asking, do you choose despair or do you choose joy? Do you choose chaos or do you choose peace? Do you choose decline or do you choose resilience? But the miracle is already on your plate. The question is, will you use it? Because when you do, your mood transforms, your energy returns, your memory sharpens, and your life shines brighter than you ever thought possible. So let food be your ally. Let food be your medicine. Let food be the daily act of love that lifts your mind, strengthens your body, and heals your spirit. And when you choose wisely, you'll realize something profound. Your mood is not your master. You are.